Hello everyone, my name is Paul Third, and this week I'm going to do something that not many YouTube reviewers do, which is go back the way, right? Instead of moving forward, we're going back the way, and we're going to reflect on a whole year's worth of content that I made, and I'm going to tell you if I still use some of the plugins that I liked, and you know, if my opinion has changed. Let's just get into it. This is going to be a long video. January 6th, 2021. TimP Vari level version 2. Yes, I use it on about 90% of my lead vocals. I just kind of find that this compressor is just one of the best vocal compressors ever. I've actually got 2 videos on the channel, and honestly, on 90% of my lead vocals, it's just mwah. So yes, I still love this compressor, and I still use it on every mix. Right, okay, acustica, right, I'm just going to get into the acustica stuff right now, because to kind of shorten this video, around this time, I was making a crap ton of acustica videos. Now, just to kind of let everybody know, I still do like the sound of many acustica plugins. However, I kind of believe more of a kind of less is more approach. So the only acustica plugins that I still use from time to time, I sometimes still use titanium as a clean pull tech. Magenta sometimes, I might still use it on guitar sometimes. Amber, the Amber compressor is one of my favourite plugin compressors of all time. I use it on pianos and acoustic guitar because it does this weird phasey thing. I don't even know if it's the hardware, but it just adds this width, and it's really open sounding, and it's just an awesome sounding compressor. I think that's genuinely like the only acustica plugins that I use now, which will shock many people. I'm still using a crap ton of TimP compressors. I'll always use TimP compressors. But in terms of acustica, yes, I don't actually use that much acustica now. Sorry, but it's the truth. Right, okay, let's see, acustica blonde. No, I stopped using that. I still believe that it's one of the best kind of tools if you're kind of doing pre-mixing, but it just makes my pre-mixing too long. It's like I do still prefer the sound to pre-mix through acustica blonde pre-mixer, but it just takes us too long, and I just don't have the time. I need to be working quicker. So unfortunately, in regards to a workflow element, that got the boot as well. Sorry. Let's see. Plugin Alliance, Neold Big Al. I still quite like the saturation plugin, but that was when I had the Plugin Alliance subscription, which I don't have anymore. And I only decided to buy 3 or 4 Plugin Alliance plugins. There's a video somewhere. I'm pretty sure there is. But yes, I still like it, and I would still use it if I had it. But I didn't like it enough to the point where I needed to buy it. So no, I am not using the Neold Big Al anymore. Right, okay, acustica again, acustica. Fucking hell. Was I just like the acustica man back in the day? I was just advertising acustica like crazy for free. What was wrong with me? Right, okay, we're into May 26th. Sonimus Britson versus Satson. Now, Sonimus Britson, the console plugin, I still use genuinely on every mix. So I've been using that since the 26th of May 2021, and I've never stopped using it. That is on every single one of my mix sessions, and I stick all my mixes through it. I use the grouping, the crosstalk. I love the high pass and low pass filters and being able to drive it, blah, blah. It's just a great plugin. And again, for any of the videos that I'm kind of referring to, I'll try and leave links in the description for specific ones. So if you want to hear what the Sonimus Britson sounds like and the Satson and the difference between the two, then yes, go check out that video. But yes, I still use Sonimus Britson on every single one of my mixes. Right, okay, what have we got? Analog Obsession. No, I don't use Analog Obsession. Why I cancelled the Kit Blackbird. Let's not get into Kit again. Fucking hell. Is this the best Fender twin amp sim plugin on the market? dibiquadro Virgo. Yes, I still use that. If I want to go for a Fender kind of twin sound, then I still feel that that's one of the best Fender twin amp simulation plugins on the market. Here we go. Finally getting to some plugins that I'm really interested in. So this was the first human versus AI audio mixing. This is when I did, I think it was Smart Comp and Smart EQ. Now I don't use Smart Comp. I've never really gelled with it. I don't like it. I just don't like it. Smart EQ is on every single one of my mixes. I was kind of going a bit OTT with it and using it on way too much stuff. But I use it more on mid-rangey kind of stuff. So I use it on electric guitars, acoustic guitars, pianos, and synths. Yeah, and I just find it always kind of gives me a really nice kind of EQ curve where it's giving me sometimes the kind of the upper presence and the upper mids that it needs without kind of being too harsh. I normally set it to like 100% dynamic mode. And that's in my pre-mixing session. So yes, I still use Smart EQ, and I genuinely do think it is an awesome tool. Right, okay, the one after that, the week later, August 11th, 2021, is Soundtheory Gulfoss, the best finishing mix bus plugin. I thought that up until 2 weeks ago. Honestly, I was using it up until 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, I'd say 2 weeks ago. I genuinely don't know what made me go back on this, but I think it was after using God Particle, and I was just is it, have I got too much on my mix bus? And I was just right, let's just have it on and off. And as soon as I kind of took it unbypassed, and again made sure it was level matched, it just really wasn't giving me anything that I felt was really properly enhancing the mix. And it's probably because my mixing's got better and I don't really need it. And I was kind of using it the way that I've seen it in videos with Gulfoss, where it's just 5% recover and 5% tame. I didn't like what I was doing in the low end. It was I was kind of smearing the low end a little bit. So I remember for a wee while, then I tried to kind of stop it, because you can filter it. And I had it just kind of only doing the mids. To be honest, it was just killing my CPU, and I didn't really feel I was getting that much of a benefit from it, and I just really wasn't worth the CPU for me. I didn't like what it was doing in the low end. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's phase. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I think when you're at a point where your mixing you're kind of struggling a little bit, it does help you out and you mix into it. But I think when you add God Particle into the equation, then you've got Gulfoss. Yeah, I still think it's a good sounding plugin. I know because I've done the science and I've tested it, but I just think I have got better at mixing, and I genuinely don't think that I need it anymore. Not saying I'm a fucking superstar mixer, but yeah, up until 2 weeks ago I was using it. Now I'm not. And I don't feel like I need it. So I'd say yes. I'd say that's a good thing. And I'm proud that I don't need Gulfoss anymore. Let's see, what else have we got? Don't buy a $4,000 Neve 33609N. Try the Arturia comp diode. I was using it for a long time. I was using it for nearly a year. And then God Particle came along. And honestly, when I made that video and said it took so much stuff off my mix bus, genuinely, God Particle is a be all end all for me. It just does everything, mix bus wise. I still love the sound of it. I still love the sound of a Neve 33609. And there's the odd occasion where I might sometimes stick the Neve 33609 on the instrument bus. There's just times where my ear is to a point where I just know where I need certain stuff. So I still think I can get that to sound nearly identical to a real Neve 33609 if you use the way I use the sidechain and stuff like that. There's a certain way you have to set it. But yes, I still believe that that's a very, very good sounding compressor. But no, sadly, I am not using the Arturia Neve 33609 anymore. Let's see, debunking this. I was doing a lot of debunking back in those days. Null tests. The Harrison 32C channel strip plugin. We don't need to talk about Harrison. However, that was the first time that Steve made an appearance for the very first time on his channel. So yes, I like being reminded that I came up with analog with a sound of digital that week. That was a very good week. Very good week. Saying that, I only got 18,000 views, so fuck you, Steve. Sorry. Next week, I went through my oeksound phase. I finally got oeksound to send me soothe and spiff. That was a great day. See the day oeksound sent me soothe and spiff. What a day that was. Add more punch with oeksound spiff. Yes, I still use spiff to this day. I use oeksound soothe and oeksound spiff in every single mix. Spiff I use in combination with another plugin that we'll talk about, because I think that comes up, or it might be in the next video. But if you're a Patreon member or you're a channel member, a YouTube channel member, then there is a post that I made revealing a punch trick that I've been coming up with that's been working really well for me, where I can get like maximum punch without like affecting the limiter. It's a combination of certain things, and Spiff is a part of that. It's great. It's a great transient designer. It's probably the best transient designer out there. And it's also great if you've got like electric guitar or acoustic guitars that are just maybe a bit clacky in certain areas, and you can just kind of use it just to kind of take down a bit of the transients. It's just great. You can boost transients, you can take away transients. Oeksound Spiff is a diamond plugin. Right, so thankfully we're up to September. I was like, fuck, I didn't know how long this video was going to be. I did make many videos that weren't like fucking just plugin reviews. There was a lot of geeky stuff, analog versus digital, that I don't even want to fucking talk about. Because again, a lot of them I made not even caring if I was going to use them or not. It was just because I was interested in analog versus digital. Baby audio tape. No, we all know I'll never use baby audio tape. Never in this lifetime. Aliasing and audio plugins, fuck off. That was the first time I talked about aliasing, oh my god. Plugindoctor tutorial, fuck, the first time I'd done that as well. Testing YouTube's audio quality. 5 Waves plugins I actually use in my own home studio setup. Now this will be interesting. Let me see if I've actually listed what it was, because I don't know if I set markers for myself. Crap. I can't remember. Right, okay, what I'll do is I will tell you the Waves plugins that I still use. I do use Waves plugins. MV2, sometimes. Sometimes on Bass DI, I'll use it if I want to kind of add a little bit, I don't know, make the Bass DI a little bit more mid-forward. Sometimes I'll do that. And as much as it pains me to say it, I have never found a de-breath plugin as good as Waves de-breath. I use it for the podcast. I use it for my videos, all my voiceovers. It just works. And I've never found a de-breath plugin that works as good. It's pretty manual, but the way it works makes absolute sense. I do remember it was Abbey Road Chambers I mentioned on that video. I don't use Abbey Road Chambers anymore because I've got the UAD stuff now. So I use the Capital Chambers, and the Capital Chambers is mwah. Sometimes I'll use Greg Wells Piano Centric. Sometimes if I'm like just struggling with the piano, Smart EQs maybe like made it a little bit too dull. Then sometimes I use the Greg Wells Piano Centric because I like his choice of reverb and delay. Sometimes it can just give me the nice brightness for the piano. Interesting. November 4th and 5th, I had mix session breakdowns. Now, if you're a channel member or a Patreon member, you'll have access to this. So I basically took apart my single called Unnaturally True. So I covered pre-mixing, drums and bass, instruments and vocals, and then my mix bus at the time as well. So if you want to see all the plugins, and this will be a lot of acustica, I was using a lot of acustica around that time. Pensado EQ, yeah, and Coffee. Wow, I forgot about all these plugins I used to use. But yeah, if you want to see what I was using at the time, then again, you can consider becoming a channel member, and those videos you will have access to those videos. All right, we're getting to the end of the year. 5 audio plugins that you get pro-level results quicker. Now, did I have a good description for this? Because I can't remember what they were. Reso. Yes, I use Reso still in every mix. I use it on my voiceovers, so I use it on the podcast, and it's on my pre-mixing template as well. So I always use Reso. I use it on drums, I use it on bass, I use it on guitars, mostly kind of mid-based kind of sources. Again, vocals as well. And I just kind of use like the input and output like a mix knob, and just kind of dial it to taste, and I let it learn, and I just use my ears to taste. Sometimes it could be a little bit overkill on guitars, and just sometimes it just does the right amount of suppression just to kind of take a bit of the harshness out there. Yes, I still use Soothe too. I fucking love Soothe. Remember, like when I said that the day I got Soothe in Spiff was a great day, it was a great day. I use Soothe all the bloody time. I use the Soothe for the Jason Joshua kick bass side chain. I use it on vocals, I use it on guitars, I use it on synths, I use it on acoustic guitars. Anything that's like harsh, I'll use it on. And again, the presets are awesome as well. Now, Smart EQ, yes, I still use Smart EQ. Using Mixroom plugin and Bassroom. Yeah, I was using Bassroom and Mixroom for a long time, probably about 6 to 8 months. And then I got to a point where I was like, nah, I'm being too lazy. and I need to learn to use my ears more, and I wasn't using my ears as much, which got me into issues when I got into like isotope tonal balance, and I was like, all right, okay, I have a really bad tilt. So there's still good plugins, and if you want like a good kind of bassroom's quite good. Again, if you're kind of struggling with certain elements of your mix that you can't get right, it can kind of help you get there. But I still believe that don't be lazy and try and do it right on the channels. Don't try and do it on the mix bus. I thought that was that year. November 17th, split EQ. So that in combination with spiff is part of the punch technique that I was telling you about. If you're a channel member or a patron member, you'll be able to read exactly how I do it. Split EQ is a great plugin, and it's the only plugin that I would use the technique that I use. It does it phenomenally well, and it could be great in combination with spiff to add punch or also take away transients, clackiness, and like kind of horrible transient stuff in acoustic guitars and sometimes vocals as well. If you're getting a really kind of harsh kind of transient kind of style vocal, the two of them in combination work really well with each other. I don't know how many people that did reviews of split EQ still use it, but I genuinely still use it. And I think I still use it in the way that I used it in that video, but especially in that punch technique that I do, it is essential. And yes, I still use it on every single mix. November 18th, let's see, now Waves Audio SSL EV2. Of course I don't use fucking Waves SSL EV2. My God. Our plugin shootouts, pointless. I don't even know why I made that. Waves Kramer Pi. No, I don't use a Waves Kramer Pi. I know what, I tell a lie. See, on the odd, no, okay, this is when I need this to remind me. On the odd drum room, I sometimes might use the Waves Kramer Pi because it does sound near identical to a real Helios Pi compressor. I tested it and it does. And it is very good. And it does have a great character on drum rooms. If, for whatever reason, TimP Valley people Dynamite isn't doing it for me on drum rooms, then sometimes I give the Waves Kramer Pi a shot. Getting to the end of the year finally. Fuck, even I'm bored going through this. December 15th. Right, okay, we've got 2 left. Thank the Lord. Right. How to get loud masters with a few clicks using a Sonible Smart Limit. Yes, I still use Smart Limit to this day. I mix through Smart Limit. Even though I mix through Jason Joshua's God Particle, I don't use the limiter in it. I use Sonible Smart Limit. I use Smart Limit for the podcast as well. It's what I use for limiting the vocals in the podcast. I've tried different limiters after that, and I just still prefer it. I tried the one from Mastering the Mix. That's a good limiter, but I just still prefer the openness Sonible Smart Limit. So yes, I still do recommend Sonible Smart Limit, and yes, it is my limiter of choice. And lastly, finally we're there, my God. December 16th, 2021. Arboreal Pimax, the alternative to the Sonox Oxford inflator. You bet your bottom dollar I still use Pimax because it's still awesome and it's still cheap and it's still awesome. It's on every mix that I do. I definitely always use it on bass. I'm pretty sure, it is. It's snare that I use it on. I use it on kick as well. I was using it on drum bus, but I've kept my drum bus like very like, it's my drum bus is super chilled. There's not even any compression going on in my drum bus. It's kind of really untouched. I used to be quite daft on buses and I've kind of chilled out. Like, I still believe less is more. But yeah, honestly, if you're looking for like perceived loudness and you're looking for like punch, you're looking for like saturation and perceived loudness, Arboreal Pimax shits all over the Sonox Oxford inflator. It still baffles me to this day that people use the Sonox Oxford inflator when Arboreal Pimax is so fucking cheap. And it's one of the only plugins that the guys made, and it's an awesome plugin. And there you have it. There is a whole year's worth of plugin reviews. Not all of them. Like, I've skipped through some of like the plugin shootouts, and there was loads of videos that weren't even like plugin related. They were just kind of audio geekness. But there you have it. There are the plugins that I reviewed on my channel. Now, we will do 2022, and that'll be more interesting because that was when I started. That was the year that I started to get sponsored videos. So I'll be interested to see if I still use a lot of the sponsored tools that I was given. But in the end of the day, I'm not worried about that video because I'm a very honest chap and I only do videos and like make videos on tools 99% of the time if I'm interested, genuinely interested in the tool. So yes, there you have it. Hopefully that's been a little interesting video for you. My name's Paul Third and I'll see you again whenever I see you.